Lost or made?
My single strongest character trait.
If I became the leader of the world, what would my first action be?
My name is Katrina Thomas. I'm a social entrepreneur using dance, gymnastics and fencing to help create positive environments for young people to have positive outcomes to build resilience.
Tell us about the first time you tried to start a business.
The first business I tried to start was in partnership with someone else, and it was a platform for up-and-coming artists. It was called Time to Network. It went left because I was young and I didn't know as much as I know now. So that's basically what happened.
Was that the first thing you ever tried to sell as well?
Yeah, it was the first thing. It was what we used to do. I was a choreographer for a group of dancers, and that's what we used to sell girls for music videos and stuff like that. Yeah.
What did you want to be when you were a kid?
A choreographer.
What do you think they would say if they saw you?
That I'm more or less nearly doing my job. I'm quite fortunate, so dance is still heavily in my life. So doing what I set out to do.
What's been your proudest moment to date?
Getting to the place I am now. There's been obstacles, and obviously with having a business before and it failing, obviously I wasn't very confident at selling because the other person done most of that part. So getting to this point now that I've managed to sell my own services to the point that I've had to expand.
What do you think is your strongest character trait?
Strongest. Everyone says I'm laid back. That's our strongest character trait, that I'm this laid. I always have a laid back attitude, and I'm always smiling, surprisingly.
What's the most money you've ever lost or made in a single day?
I probably have gone home and thought, oh my gosh, I've spent like £200 in a day, and I didn't mean to spend £200 in a day. And yeah, that's been a bummer. That's been a bummer because I didn't want to spend that. But you know, them ones where you go out, you get happy, you think, ooh, I just got paid, I've got lots of money to burn, but no, you don't really have that. Regret that a bit later. So yeah.
We give you £1 million.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with it?
Invest in myself.
Okay.
Reinvest it in my business. Take it now to get the business to the next stage, which is building it up to be a franchise.
Capitalism, good or evil?
Yeah, so I'm against it because I've always said that when I do this is to be able to help my family as well.
What's been your most difficult customer or client to deal with?
I'm only going to speak on it a little bit in case they watch it and they guess that it's them. But as in my line of work, I work with parents. And one parent wasn't happy about the advice we gave back to her child and thought we were singling her child out, but we was literally giving advice that any other dance teacher would give to this child. And she just made it a problem and then tried to tell the other mums, so the other mums would want to up and leave, but it didn't quite work.
Have you ever been scammed or conned in business?
Yes, I have. And up to this day, I still think about it sometimes. I was at a point where I started after my dance degree to get into my dance career as a performer. You know, you have to take professional photos and stuff like that. And there was this company that was acting as like a modelling agency, taking in money from people, saying they're going to do these professional. And I took some good photos that day and never got them. So yeah, I have. I'm still upset because I always wanted them photos. It was a really good photo. Never got it.
What's been your lowest point as an entrepreneur, and what did you learn from that?
My lowest point was it's always been around parenting, balancing parenting and having a business. And with my child, he's got ADHD, so that's been one of our difficulties. I've had to always take up a lot of time off work. Sometimes I've just had to drop work to be there for him. So finding that balance has been difficult, but finding that balance also helped me create to be having a business, to be honest, because I couldn't work a full-time job like every other person, every other parent. So I had to create my own way of making my own money tree, basically.
Tell me about a time you almost gave up and then you carried on.
Oh, this was this year. I almost gave up because I do a holiday club as well. And I have to admit that a child went a bit astray on one of the trips and I panicked, and from that panic I just wanted to quit everything, but no, still good there.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Confidence in my own capabilities, in my own expertise. I always doubt myself and doubt if what I have to say is genuine as everybody else, is believable as everybody else, so that's what I'll say.
How do you compensate or deal with that?
I just do it anyway. I just do it anyway and realise that once it's done, I'll get over my own fear. And also, I will never know if the expertise I have to give isn't correct if I don't just say it. So yeah, that's how I just do it now.
The hardest thing about being an entrepreneur is
your money. Let's be honest, your money. Because one minute you're super rich and you can help everybody and you can say, hey, drinks are on me. And then another day it's like, actually, can I have a dinner at your house because I've got no money? Could you feed me? Could you sponsor me, please? So yeah, it's just getting the cash flow because, you know, as you know, 1 minute you're up, you're getting all the work under the sun, and then another time there's nothing, there's no calls. You know what I mean? It comes in waves. So I'll say, yeah, that's the struggle. But once you find the balance and once you know how your money's coming in, it works out.
How much money did your business make a year?
I worked out the other day, actually, it's at a point of 50,000.
How do you spend the majority of that money?
It just gets reinvested at the moment. My first thing was, I'm a person that's been on benefits because I was a single mother. So my first thing was getting to a point where I wasn't on it no more. So everything just gets reinvested.
What's the biggest mistake that entrepreneurs make?
Spending their money at the start. As soon as they see it coming in, they think I'm rich, and then spending it, and then you realise you're not. So I would say I made that mistake myself, thinking, oh, this money's coming in, I'm good now. But no, yeah, I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say they've done the same mistake, spending frivolously.
What inspires you daily?
All the other people that's come from the same background as me, that's doing good things in their working life. I come from the background of Peckham, so I get inspired by people like the artist Gigs. You know, I've seen the background and lifestyle he's come from, and so many other people like him that I grew up with, went to school with, that are now in the limelight doing, you know, have businesses themselves. So yeah, that's what inspires me, because I think if they come from the same walk of life as me, what's stopping me from achieving such greatness as well.
Would you say you have a particular role model that you usually look up?
I have a few cousins that's in really good positions right now in their careers. So we're here right now. And yeah, they inspired me because even with them you think, oh wait, we came from the same household. You know what I mean? We got exactly the same upbringing. So, you know, for you to be there, I can be there as well. So definitely my cousins inspire me.
Is poverty a choice?
Yes and no. That's a tricky one, if I'm honest, because, you know, I could say I grew up, you know, in poverty and I chose to not stay in it. Just because I was born into it doesn't mean that I have to decide to live my life that way. I took the step to do things so that I wasn't anymore. But then there's certain countries where you've got no choice. You know, it's all depending on who controls your country, and you might not be able to come out of it. So that one's a bit yes and no.
Did you ever take on debt to get started or keep going?
Oh yeah, I went to uni. Anyone that's gone to uni's had debt. So it's still there. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I started off with, like I said, I graduated July 2006 and was pregnant by October 2006. So you can imagine the debt that I had before I started this business. And that was the first thing. First thing you need to clear before you go on to anything is clear that debt. So yeah.
You become the leader of the world. What's your first action?
I put on the biggest rave. Do you know that? It's really random because I love music and music makes people happy. So I put on the biggest dance where I could bring everybody together. No one has to go to work. We just go and we rave and we dance and we listen to good music and eat good food.
What's good food?
Good food, Caribbean food. Let's just put it out there. That's good food. Caribbean food. Go on, say it. I'm not going to take it back.
The most embarrassing or shameful thing you've ever done for business or money?
When I was in uni and I was broke and I worked in a bar, I'm going to be honest, I went on a few dates. If it was you, I'm sorry, but I was hungry. I was hungry. Just got to put it out there. I was hungry. I took them dates just to get a free meal. Yeah, that's the most embarrassing thing I've done for money. Don't worry, I didn't go no further than just eat and then go home. That's it.
What advice would you give to any entrepreneurs out there, just something quick to inspire them or help them?
Get a mentor. Yeah, get a mentor within what you're doing, and they will help you. Plain and simple. You can't do it on your own. Get someone that's in the place that you want to be and ask them to mentor you. Or if they can't mentor you, just ask the right questions.